we're back. Now, last time I left you, we put our chicken on to boil for chicken and dumplings. So, the chicken is boiled. You cook it until it just falls off the bone. I've taken all the chicken off the carcass. I'm going to put it right back here into my broth. Now, I've turned my broth on high so it'll start boiling. Your broth has to be boiling before you put the dumplings in. So go ahead and turn your broth on to get it boiling while you're fixing your dumplings. I'm also going to add 1 can of cream of chicken soup. You don't have to do this. Like if I was going to fix chicken and dumplings and I didn't have any cream of chicken soup, it wouldn't keep me from fixing the dumplings. But I think it just makes them a little richer to have that can of cream of chicken soup in there. So I usually have a can on hand, so I usually put it in there. Now we're going to put a little more salt and pepper and in there. Now we'll add more later on after I get the dumplings in. I'm just getting a little in there to get it started, kind of. Now let's come over here and make our dumplings. Now with the dumplings, I'd start with about 3 cups of plain flour. Well, with the plain flour, I'm going to put broth in there, and this is how I'm going to make my dough. This is just very simple. There's nothing hard about making dumpling dough. It's just broth and flour. Now, some people do other stuff with it. Some people put an egg in there, and I put an egg in there too. That can make it a little richer sometimes, but I can't see where it makes that much difference. I'm going to kind of stir it together at first before I get my hands in there. Something else, we're going to roll this out, and I've got a big board I can roll it out on, and usually I have wax paper. I'm out of wax paper, and I do want to get my big board out, which I like to roll it on that. It's just hard to clean. So today I'm just doing it on some aluminum foil. So before we get these dumplings out, I want to put plenty of flour all over my, whether you use wax paper or board or aluminum foil, you want plenty of flour down there to keep it from sticking. And I've got a rolling pin, which I'm going to put plenty of flour on my rolling pin too. Just cover everything real good. Okay, let's get back to finishing up these dumplings. Got to get them thin enough that you can roll them out. Which I've got this just a little bit too thin, but that's easy to fix because all I have to do is start adding flour right here. See, I'm going to roll it a little bit with flour. Get it a little bit thicker. Put more flour on it. Yeah. That gets it thicker. Now I don't want to roll all this out at once. I'm going to take about half of it. Let's tear it off about half of it. Or a third of it, it doesn't matter. And I'm going to start rolling it out. Ooh, it's a little bit sticky. I have it a little bit too thin. Usually you like it a little bit thick. So what I'm going to do probably with the other is add a little more flour. I got this a little bit too sticky. That happens every once in a while. Let's add a little more flour over here. That way this one over here will be a little, really you want it kind of stiff. So this over here will be, the second batch I roll out will probably be better. But that doesn't mean we can't go ahead and finish this. I don't like to waste anything. So now I like to finish what I start. Now we've got this rolled out, like so, pretty thin. Next thing I'm going to do, wash my hands off. Now you always have to remember what I said. You have to have your broth at a rolling boil before you drop your dumplings in. Because if it's not at a rolling boil, then your dumplings will start coming to pieces. This is something my great-grandmother taught me. This is how we fix dumplings. And see how easy it is to fix? There's no big deal. You know, I know a lot of people use biscuits and stuff like that, but there's really no big deal to fixing these dumplings. Now let's check our our broth. Well, it's just about. It's a little bit slow. I've got peas cooking over here on this stove and everything else. It's just about, got a mess on me. It's just about to start boiling. So, I'm going to slap a little tiny dab of garlic powder in there. Not much. I don't want to season it much with garlic. Just enough to give it a little tang. This is seasonal. I use this in a lot of things. It just helps bring out the flavor. Put a little bit of that over there in my peas too while I'm cooking. Okay. Now, as soon as I can get this boiling good, we'll be ready to go. Yeah, I've got it on high to boil, and I'll probably leave it on high while it's in a rolling boil because I want that big boil when I drop it in. So, this is something my grandkids always enjoyed doing, was making dumplings with me. When they were little, I used to let them stop. You know, I'd make a dumpling and let them drop it in. If you'll excuse me just a minute, I got cornbread going too. We'll have to do cornbread on another video. It's easy to do. But, since we're taping this video while I'm cooking supper, I've still got other stuff going on. So let me pour this corn boil. You can hear it sizzle in this pan. There, we always fix our cornbread in an iron skillet. This is just a small pan. This is just small, but that's good with chicken and dumplings and peas. It's a good old pan of cornbread. Okay. Now, I know you're getting bored waiting for that to boil. Sometimes, you know what they say about water boiling? It never boils when you watch it. A watch pot never boils. Well, this one's getting ready to boil because it's making me mad. Got some fresh corn over here me and my granddaughter put up last week. We're having that with our chicken and dumplings. It's frozen in the pan. Be fixing that in a few minutes. We like good fresh food here. Okay. This is getting close to a boil here. Starting to bubble. Good. I see the bubbles. Can you show them the bubbles in the pan? You can barely see the bubbles starting right here. So that means I can start cutting my dumplings because it'll be bubbling up here in a minute. Now, you can use a straight knife or a serrated knife to cut these dumplings. But what I do, I don't like the real long, really, I like a dumpling about that size. Maybe you can break it in half. If your dumpling's too long, just break it in half. If your dumpling's too long, just break it in half. Take them over here, drop them right into the boiling water. There you go.
And if you see that the technique is, if you can't see the bubbles, it's because something
okay,
that
we need that to boil just a little bit more. So I don't want it to boil my dumplings to pieces. I mean, not boil my. If it's not boiling, the dumplings will come to pieces. So we want more of a roll and boil there. I thought it was really getting to go good, but it's taking it a minute.
That's sure boiling over there.
Yeah.
That's about the boil you want when you get in there.
Yeah. It's getting to it here. I see it starting to boil more. Before you know it, it's just going to be bubbling up everywhere. Okay, I see it rolling a little bit, so.
Over here where we're doing the peas, that's about the boil you want.
Yeah.
When you drop the noodles in.
That's correct. Sometimes with these big pots it takes a little longer to boil, but now I'm starting to see it boiling up more. I believe I'm seeing it boiling up a little bit more now. Starting to hear that boil. Okay, let me cut some over here. Dumplings come in different shapes and sizes. My granny used to cut a dumpling, and these are really sticking. I don't know why they're sticking so bad. I don't want to put those sticky things in there. We're not going to put those sticky things in there. No, we're not. Having a little bit of trouble with this, so it's easy to fix if you have trouble with your dough. Very easy to fix. Just take it up, add you some more flour in there, get it stiffer. Dough wasn't stiff enough. Everybody makes mistakes, and that dough wasn't stiff enough. So I'm just adding more flour to it, and I'm kneading it a little bit more. Okay. Now let's get this flour spread out good. Let me get a little bit more flour here. Yeah, there we go. Now let's put her out. That's a little bit better. You can tell that's a little stiffer. That's what you want. You want it a little bit stiffer, where it's a little bit harder to roll out. Yeah, when it's hard to roll out like that, you know that's about like what you want. Keep the flour under it. Here we go. This is what we want. See how I'm having to really push down to roll it out? That means we got it like we want it.
Tell them how thin you want it.
Well, you gotta roll it pretty thin, because if you don't, these dumplings will be way too thick. I'll show you in just a minute after I get it rolled out. This is about what I want. Just didn't have enough flour in that first batch. Just didn't have it quite thick enough. Now, let me find me a good knife here.
Now over here is boiling a little better. You can see how it's boiling, and you can see it's boiling.
If you think they're a little bit too thick, just squish them with your finger. They don't have to be even. Nobody can tell you whether your dumplings are even or not.
You can never mess up by doing dumplings unless you put the wrong ingredients.
Okay, here we go. See? Dumplings. Drop it right into the boiling water like that. More dumplings. Did you see how easy these dumplings were to make? It was just broth and water. Like I said, if you want to add an egg to it, you can. If they seem a little thick, just squish them out like this with your fingers. Just take your fingers, squish them out a little bit. Flatten them down. That's how my grandmother used to do. Just flatten them down. Just flatten them down a little bit. Stretch them out. There you go. Stick a long one in there every so often.
Do you want to know the thickness of like the noodles? It's about the thickness maybe as a really skinny belt. As I would
I
say.
don't know how to say that, but it's pretty skinny.
Yeah. About as skinny as like, it's not as skinny as like the part of the knife where you cut it. It's about that skinny. It's just a little bigger.
Now, if I pick one up that's a little thick,
it's about,
then I just take it and squish it down like that. Make it a little bit thinner.
It's really skinny and thin.
Of course, a lot of people like their dumplings different. I like mine with a little body to them. Some of them like them just very light and slick. I like mine with a little body.
Hurry up, my tablet's about to shut off. My tablet's about to shut off. Hurry up.
Okay. Now, after we put these dumplings in, we're going to let them cook. We'll add a little bit of milk, and we'll add salt and pepper and a little bit of seasoning. I will taste them and see what they need. Usually the flour on the dumplings is enough to thicken the broth up. If it isn't, use a little cornstarch and water. So after you get these dumplings in and you put milk in, I don't know how much, about half a cup. And then if it needs plenty of salt and pepper and season all. And if it needs thickening, you can thicken it a little bit. But you're going to end up with some good chicken and dumplings. And in the next segment, I'll show you the chicken and dumplings when they're done. Yummy.
Say that. Please like and subscribe. Say please like and subscribe.
Please what?
Please like and subscribe.
Now, like and subscribe, because we've got a lot of good southern dishes I can teach you how to cook.